Hello folks, James Jackson here with Philadelphia Unemployment Project. As you can see from our live footage, folks are starting to gather at Broad and Arch. There will be a funeral procession celebrating the life, really, of the federal pandemic unemployment assistance program and acknowledging the death of that program. We're rallying today to seek the additional extension of the federal pandemic unemployment assistance program, $600 per week for all unemployed individuals in the country. And we hope to get our legislators to know that there are a lot of people out here who need the help. This program contributes a vast amount to our economy every week, and we would like to continue to see this program succeed and continue to support Americans in this time of global pandemic.
What? I know it. Mine was so mad too. It's like, wait, you're leaving?
How to get my beard? Why are you getting out the shower?
I know. You're doing something. No, we get so sad.
Well, it's right in the campus of the house and it came up there. So I'm like, get a ride. Get a ride.
And I'm also helping students. It's called you enjoyed it, right? Thank you. Yeah. Good. I'll see. Yes. I know, but where is it? I don't know if he's left here. Found him. What are you doing? I have no idea he was down here. You standing away. I know. I'm like, thank you very much. Oh, perfect. Anybody else got all the salt? You got some signs over here.
Yeah.
Oh shit! Ashley got cake. Oh, she got. Multitasking.
I thought, someone's gonna see. So
Yes. My phone is very sleepless. Yeah. What?
I'm in the middle of trying to put out 4 files.
Thank you. You can put him down if you want. Thank you so much.
Beloved, we are gathered here today to commemorate the death of pandemic unemployment compensation. For months during this period of unprecedented unemployment taking our unemployment benefits. I'm clear today, and I want you to repeat after me. We want money for health and education, not for billionaire corporations. Money for health and education, not for billionaire corporations. Money for health and education. 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 Thank you, everyone, for coming out today. This rally is the result of a coalition of several different groups in our city, organized by the Philadelphia Unemployment Project and the Unemployment Organizing Committee, which is a group of unemployed workers in the state, people who are not necessarily political activists before this crisis hit. But now that this has come upon our heads, we knew that we had to take to the streets and demand what is rightfully ours. So without further ado, I would love to thank our union musicians starting off our rally today. Local 77, thank you so much for being out here. And before we start, is Nicholas here? I would love to have Nicholas start us off with a song. Nicholas, say, "It's our Lord, the working family." I'll be buried in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. When freedom. Oh, freedom over me. And before I get away, I'll be buried deep in my grave and go home to my Lord and be free. No justice! No justice! Thank you, Nicholas. It was beautiful. Right now, I'd like to bring up Andrew Walker, who has been one of the most stalwart organizers in the Unemployment Organizing Committee, who has really put himself out there to fight not just for his own benefit, but for the benefit of every out-of-work person in this state. Andrew? Good afternoon, Philadelphia. We all know how big unemployment is. Unemployment is one of the serious problems that America faces today. Across the nation, and now it's been tough. You see how hard blaming each other for unemployment status. I got laid off back in April. And reached out to them, and I've been an advocate for them ever since. It's exactly a couple weeks later, I started keeping some benefits. To let them know our voice. It's being played right before us. It's the United States of America going on a reality show. And we don't know what we're going to get from week to week. And we need our political leaders to reflect our truth and fight for this cause. We need to call your ward leaders, your state representatives, call your senators, our governor, your congressmen. Nothing else continue extending the unemployment compensation. This is so important to so many people, and it affects so many livelihoods. And please, I'm asking you to support and be engaged with the Philadelphia Unemployment Project. We need and you want a program like this that gets you results. This, but let's stand together. Let's not quit. Make your voice known. What we're here for. Stand and make your voice known. Call our political leaders. Don't back down. Don't quit. It's frustrating. Do you know how it is to feel when you know people are not getting any food? Gotta go to the food banks. They're hungry. Because now we got another situation, another problem that the government hasn't resolved. Let's stand together and continue to fight. Thank you. Thank you, Andrew. Money for education, not for millionaire corporations. Money for health and education.
Money for health and education. Right now, I'm going to bring up Sam. Sam's back here. We have Sam. All right, we're going to wait on Sam. Next, I'm going to bring up another one of our members. Good afternoon, everybody. All my out there. I've worked in nursing homes for the last 20 years. Entertaining folks. We all know some had it better than others. I still can't return to help them. I filed for benefits in March. Asked my accountant where I should file, and he said file under the CARES Act. So I started filing. First they didn't classify me. Then they classified me as personal care. I was denied once. Went back and asked the accountant what to do. He said, send in your Schedule C. I did that. Waited 6 weeks. Got denied again. So after 4 months, I just got strung along. Then I went to another accountant, and she said she filed under the wrong Unemployment Act. So for 4.5 months, instead of denying me, they should have just told me from unemployment to filing incorrectly. File here. So anyway, 2 weeks ago, I filed correctly, and the $600 just went away. Actually got one check for $500. Now I'm getting the unemployment. 4.5 months out of work and just waited and waited. I'm sure there's thousands of other people had similar results. So where did they go? Who told them where to go? we depend on people if we don't know something to give us an answer. Tried to call the unemployment office. They said they were open in Google. I Googled the place. I went there at 7:30 in the morning. They weren't there. They're closed. So I called in the number. Busy. So I know that we all want to go back to work, but being that the government put us out of work, it won't let us go back to work. We've got to stand here and rally. Let's hope for the best. Thank you, everybody. Thank you very much for that, Mike. Right now, I'd like to introduce you to Catto, local police summit, AFL.
Well into 2021. Around 86% of our membership are freelance musicians. This includes musicians from the Philly Pop, Opera Philadelphia, Pennsylvania Ballet, Broadway Philadelphia, and Broadway Street Theater. The $600 a week is a and it is not too much to ask. For $600 a week, and $60 an hour in a 40-hour-a-week job. Sisters Red IATSE, the International Alliance of Theatrical Stage Employees. This includes the stagehands, ticket takers, ushers, wardrobe, and sound and lighting engineers. We stand with the actors and stage managers from Actors Equity. And we stand with the operatic, choral, and dance community of AGMA, the American Guild of Musical Artists. We want the government to get off the golf course and back to DC and pass the HEROES Act. We are offended by their lack of action. What do we want? When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it?
I'd like to thank them for that great speech. Right now, we're going to introduce a very, very important person for the public. And that's going to be John Dodge, the director of the Philadelphia Unemployment Compensation.
All right, nice to see everybody out here. This is what we have to do in this country, stand to get our rights. This program that was passed back in, was started back in April, needs to continue. I want to talk a little bit about where we are with that right now. We had negotiations. The Democrats passed the bill to extend the $600 until January of 2021. Republicans didn't have a plan. They finally put a plan together, $200 a week. And Trump got involved. So Trump sent his people and they negotiated for about 3 days. And Trump said, you know what? I didn't get what I want. I'm going to do it myself without anybody. And he did an executive order. He said $400. It's only $300. And the trick is, he's only got enough money to give people $300 for 4 or 5 weeks. You didn't hear that, did you, when he was talking about it? And the other thing is, you got to set up a whole new program in the states to give out the money. And anybody, you've heard some people talk about how screwed up the unemployment system is in Pennsylvania. It's going to take them weeks to get it out. So instead of negotiating, he just imposed something like a photo opportunity for a very minimal program that's not going to start for weeks. People are suffering right now, and Trump has played a political game on too many of us. So right now, we're hoping and we're demanding that the Democrats and the Republicans get back together and negotiate a serious program to keep people's minimum water in the toilet. And believe me, there's nobody else.
What's going to come out of the action?
Federal Reserve Board says it's going to be well over 9%. Well over 2021. That might be optimistic. We need programs. We need programs for stimulus. Nobody wants that before. All of you got that $600. They will consume and spend. Once that money stops, it's going to stop. 70% of the U.S. workers will spend that.
That's why I get money out.
Oh,
Okay. Now, I thought it was like Stephen. So,
Thank you, John, and thank you for exposing that hoax, that con, another lie from the president. He doesn't give a damn about us. He's scoring political points, and people, we're dying out here. We're not just losing our jobs, we're behind on our bills. We're losing our housing. Right now, there are people up in the encampment on the parkway fighting just to be able to form a community to say state. And now they're going to try and put more people out on the streets. You know, this is a metaphor for the pandemic unemployment compensation that's died. But we also know that over 160,000 people have died because of this pandemic. And we are sick of the political games that these people are trying to play with our livelihood. But now I'm glad to be able to bring up a representative who has been fighting for as long as I can remember for people in our city, and that's State Senator Art Haywood.
So thank you everyone for gathering here to this afternoon. The only way we will be heard is being out here. The only way we will be heard is being out here. Because Nick, we tried to be heard, and what's the response? Silence. We've got to come out here week after week after week. We cannot stop today. I just want to say three main things. One, this action by the national government is cruel. How do we know it's cruel? We're asking mothers and parents to go back to school. Don't the children need school supplies? How will the children be able to go back to school without the school supplies that they need to get the $600 a week to pay for? That's a cruel lie. Go back to school without supplies? It is cruel because they're saying to us that folks should be paying their rent. We should be paying our rent. How can we pay our rent without the $600 a week? Tell me. We cannot. And it doesn't just affect us who are in the apartments. The landlord doesn't get the money. If the landlord doesn't get the money, then the mortgage company doesn't get the money. We're all in this together. This is cruel because how will we eat? Where will the food come from? Are they saying that we all have to go to Philabundance? Are they saying that we all have to stay in longer lines at the food banks? What will
What will happen to the farmers? The farmers need us to buy groceries so they can have a farm. This is cruel. The second thing is, as we all know, this is unacceptable. It's unacceptable. The crisis that we have is because the national government did not address the COVID crisis. We are COVID unemployed. And we are COVID unemployed because we don't have a testing program, because we haven't supported the hospitals. We are COVID unemployed. The same folks who have made us unemployed are the same folks who are denying us $600 a week. Same people. The last thing I'd like to say is we can have no more delay. Do we have a delay for rent payments? Do we have a delay for mortgage payments? Do we have a delay for medicine payments? Do we have a delay for utility payments? Do we have a delay when you're hungry and need to buy food? There can be no more delay. This money is needed today. This is a crime for those folks to go back home, and we have to suffer for what they have created. I want to end with one thing. When there's a crime, what do we also have? A criminal. You cannot have a crime without criminals behind it. And that is our challenge. We have a criminal in the White House, we have criminals in the Senate. Only today and tomorrow and the weeks to come, we must continue to raise our voices, be heard, make the demand. Our cause is just, our cause is right. It is only about our survival, and we are the heart of the survival of this nation. Thank you so much. Continue to struggle. Thank you, Senator Haywood. Next, I'd like to bring up our speaker from one of the most rock and roll, powerful unions that always comes out for progressive events, Sam Spector from Unite Here. Give it up.
My name is Samantha Spector. I work for Aramark at the Wells Fargo Center as Club Observer, and I'm a union committee leader with Unite Here, Local 274, the Hospitality Workers Union. We are the union of hotels, airport food service workers, and stadium workers. I'm a single mom. I've been a server for 23 years. It's the job that I know how to do, and I do it well. Right now, my unemployment check is the only way I can continue to provide for me and my daughter. Without the $600 extension, I have to cut back on what I provide for her. School supplies and school uniform costs are right around the corner as the school year is about to begin. I won't have enough without the $600 extension, but I'm not going to wait and sit here and be silent. This pandemic has hit our union the hardest. With over 90% of our membership still unemployed, hotels are closed or barely occupied. Flights at PHL have been scaled back. More restaurants are takeout only. All 3 sports stadiums are shut down with no fan attendance. There will be no work for me and my coworkers for the rest of 2020. It has been devastating to all of us. But I am proud that my union has been on the forefront fighting for the $600 extension. We won't sit back while corporations continue to get their hand out. We drove down to DC as part of the caravan, and we will do it again if we have to. We have been fighting the whole time. My union fought hard to pass the nation's first whistleblower law in Philadelphia, which gives us the right to report health and safety issues without retaliation. and gives us the right to take ourselves out of an unsafe work environment. We'll keep fighting to make sure Congress hears us. It's the past time that the U.S. Senate and President act and extend the 600 unemployment. They should have never let it expire. They have had 2 months to pass the bill, and now we are the ones that are suffering while we are waiting. At the same time, Aramark, which has the international headquarters here in Philadelphia, has done nothing to relieve the pain of their employees. The Sixers, Flyers, Phillies, Eagles have done nothing to support us. They have put no money aside to make sure that we can pay our bills. We love our city and we love our sports teams, but they have given no love back. Nothing. Even worse, they are going to get $35 million this year from our city tax dollars, even though there will be no fans. That money should go to my coworkers who are scared about the future and what lies ahead of them. We have kids going to school, parents are sick, rent and mortgage bills we have to pay. Food we have to put on the table. I hear the stories from my coworkers. I care about my coworkers who are being hit even harder than I am, who have families that are larger than mine. We have parents that we have to take care of. We can't survive without the $600 extension. You see, there are no other jobs out here for us to get. Restaurants aren't hiring. There are no conventions. The industry is shut down because of this pandemic. We have no other options. But my union Aramark job is the one job I do for. I fought for it. I am proud that me and my club observers won a $4.25 raise in our last contract negotiation. We won an additional 3 vacation days. I fought for them rights, and I'm not giving them up. Most of all, we want respect. When Aramark was fairly fired last season, it was my co-workers standing strong as a union that got me my job back. And I'm not giving that up. That's the job that I want to get back. We won't back down. We will fight for our rights in our union contract, and we are going to fight for what we need for $600. We didn't ask the workers. Making their money. Before the pandemic, we struggled, but we're struggling harder now. We won't stand by on the sidelines while the president and the U.S. Senate is pushing us further into poverty. We will fight to pass the extension.
Very much for that inspiring message. We also are asking for everyone to join this project where we can help with reaching out to other Philadelphians in the city to make calls, reach out to let them know that how we are all being affected. So all you gotta need to do is either talk to myself, Director John Todd, the organizer, Ted Kelly, or any one of us on the project. Please reach out to us because we need the help. Right now, we do Sam Jones, Restaurant Opportunities Center.
Respect and justice in the workplace for restaurant workers. Much like the unemployed musicians and artists in the crowd and the folks from the badass union of Unite Here, restaurant workers are out of work as well. We just got notified that we're going into the green phase here in Philadelphia on September 8th. That means that indoor dining will occur at 25% capacity. Restaurant workers, servers, earn $2.83 an hour. $2.83 an hour plus tips. If they're working at 25% capacity, they're not going to be able to feed their families. They're not going to be able to pay their rent. They're not going to be able to pay their mortgages. The $600 pandemic extra money is essential for these workers. Many of them, because of the $2.83 an hour wage, are only getting a couple of $100 in unemployment benefits because it doesn't account for all that they get in tips. And this is unconscionable. We are in the midst of an unprecedented crisis that could have been prevented if we had proper leadership in the White House. This unemployment extended benefits could have continued if we had proper leadership in the Senate. The House passed this months ago. And what did the Senate do? Mr. McConnell says, we're going to adjourn, we're going home. That is shameful, unacceptable. And standing alongside him is our Senator Toomey, who thinks that workers do not deserve the $600. Folks like Senator Toomey say that getting that $600 is preventing folks from going back to work because they're making more staying at home. A, that is utter nonsense because the jobs are not there. And B, it's unconscionable because everybody should be earning at least $15 an hour. So I stand here, Restaurant Opportunity Center stands here in solidarity with the Philadelphia Unemployment Project, with Unite Here, with our artistic unions. And we know that this is not going to rectify itself overnight. We're not going to suddenly get back on airlines and take trips. We're not going to suddenly open up theaters. We know that's not going to happen for at least 8 months to a year. And we need this money, and we need it now. Thank you.
Thank you, Sam. And I want to thank everyone for being out here today. This is such a great coalition. We have the stagehand workers. We have IATSE. We have Unite Here. We have the Musicians Local 77. We have the Philadelphia Unemployment Project. We got PSL in the house. It's great to see so many progressive organizations come together because, my friends, we got a lot of things going wrong right now. We have this financial crisis. We have the pandemic. We have the problem of white supremacy that's in the DNA of this system. And that's why we want, the call to defund is very important right now. We want you all to refund the PUC. So hashtag it, take a picture of the coffin, put it on social media, tag your Congress people, refund PUC, hashtag refund PUC. There is another unprecedented attack happening on one of our civic institutions right now, and that's the attack on the U.S. Postal Service. So right now, it's my honor to bring up my comrade, a former retired postal worker, Joe Piet.
Thank you for doing this today. I was a mailman for 30 years, and I delivered mail in areas of Philadelphia where poverty was very, very high. And I learned how difficult it is for families to raise their children when there's lousy housing, when there's no money to feed their kids, where there's no jobs. So I learned to respect people who are unemployed, and my hat goes off to you all who are having trouble earning wages today. But we have to raise hell, of course, if we want to solve any problem. And just like Trump and a lot of people in Congress don't give a shit They don't give a shit about us here on the ground. They also don't give a shit about postal workers. No, Trump is sabotaging the postal workers, the postal service, your postal service. It's been around since longer than the Constitution. He appointed a postmaster general who is purposely slowing down the mail service so that Trump can get reelected, trying to make you think you shouldn't vote. You shouldn't put in mail-in ballots because the post office is incapable of delivering them on time. There's a lot of bullshit in there, but it's an attack on postal workers, but also an attack on everyone in this country who wants to get rid of Trump. The postal crisis goes back to 2006 when Congress passed a law forcing the Postal Service to pay for retiree health care 75 years in advance. No other company, no other federal agency has to do that, only the post office. There was a bill to sabotage the post office once more. Trump isn't the first. It happened in 2006 too. So the post office is running out of money, and the COVID crisis made it even worse because many postal workers, 75 of them died from COVID-19. Thousands of them got COVID-19, and tens of thousands have had to stay home for 2 weeks because they were exposed to COVID-19, and that has undermanned. It's really hurt the workforce, forcing overtime, and the new postmaster general wants to get rid of overtime. So now everything is running late. So what do we do about it? We raise hell, right? Yeah. This coming Saturday, we would like you all to come to 316 Market Street, the post office where Ben Franklin worked. 3rd and Market. At 11 o'clock, from 11 to 1, we're going to have a rally to defend the post office. Yeah. And we have 3 demands. That there's a rescue plan in Congress that would give the post office $25 billion. They rescued the corporations in the $3 trillion plan back in the spring, but they didn't do anything for the post office, and the post office needs to be rescued. We want them to repeal that 75-year pre-funding requirement, and of course, the demand that we want most is that the new postmaster, Louis DeJoy, be fired. Yeah! I'm put in jail. So we should fire DeJoy just like we should fire Trump. Yeah! Thank you.
And thanks to our ministers of sanitation, keeping us safe during this pandemic. Folks, it is so great to see so many people come out for this issue that unites all of us. And I want to let you know that the Philadelphia Unemployment Project, we have been talking to, like over the course of the last few months, I have talked to literally hundreds of people who have lost their jobs, who have lost their livelihoods, who after months, they don't know how they're going to get money for food to keep their housing. I talked to a man who has 3 kids at home, who has now been late on rent 2 months running. He thinks he's going to get evicted, and he told me, I don't know what to do. I'm thinking about ending it all. That's how desperate people are. That's how desperate people are right now. But the only way we are going to fix this system or replace it altogether, is by uniting together here in the streets. But I do also want to let you know that Philadelphia Unemployment Project has this kind of back channel to the Department of Labor. So please, if you have not received your unemployment benefits, call us. Call us, send me an email, and we will do our best to help. It's a small thing, but it's one thing that we can do during this time. I just want to bring up Ashley Griffiths, who's going to tell you about one other program that the Philadelphia Unemployment Project is working on. Then we're going to hear from a couple last speakers, and then we're going to march.
Hello, everyone. Again, thank you so much for coming. It's amazing to see this turnout. It's also disappointing to see this turnout because that just shows how many people are in need of this unemployment assistance. Another piece of assistance that we are currently working to get folks is mortgage assistance. It's specifically pandemic mortgage assistance. I just want to show everyone, raise your hand if you have heard about the pandemic mortgage assistance program. That's not even half. And the application deadline is September 30th. Okay, so they have this assistance, and what we're trying to do is we're trying to let everyone know it's out there because it's going to not be there for long. They cut our unemployment, they will cut this assistance as well, we know it. So I have flyers here, the assistance program. If you have a mortgage, if you know people who have a mortgage and are already behind or they're going to fall behind, take a flyer, spread the word. There are people that need this. A home is your security, it's your stability, it's your heart. We're losing our homes to no fault of our own. That's the kicker. We didn't do anything. So please, this will help up to $1,000 a month for 6 months. Please spread the word, take a flyer. I'm standing right here. We can sign you up for more information. I would love if you guys could advocate for this and apply for this and help people out. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Ashley. Please avail yourselves of these programs if you can. Thanks, Cindy. Let's give it up for Food Not Bomb Solidarity, right? Folks, we just have one or two speakers, and I want to hear from you. Why are we out here today? We want money for health and education, not for billionaire corporations. Money for health and education, not for billionaire corporations. That's right. Folks, it's now my pleasure, my true pleasure, to bring up a comrade from the Party for Socialism and Liberation, Bianca Blue.
All power to the people. All power to the people. Thank you guys for coming out here today. It is not safe outside. There are lantern flies, there is COVID, there are police. It's dangerous out here right now. And because of that, the government deemed it important for all of us to stay in our houses. Don't go outside. Don't go to work. Work remotely from home if you can. If you can't work remotely from home, then stay home unless you work at Starbucks. Then go to work because you're essential. Oh, and doctors too, probably. And teachers, maybe. We're still up in the air about that. There is no cohesion from our government about what they want to do, what they're trying to do, what they think they're doing. There is none. What there is, though, is a pandemic. There are several pandemics. I am 30 years old. I turned 30 on a very, very pivotal day in the United States of America. I turned 30 on March 13th at 1:42 in the morning. At 1:47 in the morning, Breonna Taylor was killed. March 13th, also had a full moon. It was also the day that everything started to get shut down. I know that because I planned a big old birthday party that I told myself in the back of my head, no one's gonna come to this. It's on a Friday the 13th. Everyone's gonna be out partying. Right but wrong. Nobody came because they weren't allowed to come, according to them. That was the excuse that I got from all my friends. Oh my gosh, we can't come outside now. I was literally about to get on the bus and then I watched the news and I'm like, you never watch the news. But okay, I dig it. We were inside for a couple of days before we actually got word from anything or anybody about what was really going on. You know, it was like, okay, we're on an extended weekend vacation. Let's stay inside till Monday and then we'll figure it out. And then we'll figure it out on March the 28th because that's 2 weeks and we'll have this under control in 2 weeks. And then it was, oh, it's like the flu, you know, it's seasonal. It'll go away in April. And then April came, and then May came, and then June got here. July came. We are in August. We are halfway through August. And there are still some people who have never seen one dime of unemployment money. There are some people who didn't even qualify for unemployment money. And the government's like, they'll get over it. It's cool. I'm gonna go golfing. Hit me up on Twitter. Like, excuse my French, but what the fuck is that? Am I right? I have almost always participated overabundantly in this capitalistic system. I had 2, if not 3 jobs at all points in time. I'm always on the grind. My mom's a Taurus, and her middle name is Karen. I'm about my business. I gotta be. I better be. My dad was a Virgo. Oh no. If I'm doing something, then I have to be doing it for a purpose. That's why I'm doing it, right? Right? I mean, that's the only thing that makes logical sense. There's a lot of things that just make logical sense that we are not doing right now. We're just not. It is not logical for us as a government to not have a contingency plan for something akin to Resident Evil type scenarios. Like, it doesn't register to me that we can totally, absolutely, 100% unequivocally, but not to the public, believe in aliens and create a fucking space force, but we have no money for PPE. We have no money to take care of our doctors or our frontline workers or our goddamn postal service. That is wrong. It is incorrect. It is a lie. It's a lie, ladies and gentlemen. They're lying to us. I filed for unemployment on March the 28th because the company that I worked for told me that my last day was going to be March 28th. I said, okay, I'm going to file for unemployment on March 28th because that's the last day I'm getting paid. And I did. And then I filed it every single week, not weekly. No, my dad taught me a long time ago. Every week, file for unemployment. Every Sunday at 8 o'clock in the morning, file for unemployment. So I did. And anytime I hadn't had a job up until this point, which is few and far between, I did. I put a lot of money into this system. 3 jobs worth of taxes into this system. And I'm barely getting by. I was homeless from 2012 to 2018, sleeping on other people's couches, staying with friends, crashing in Rittenhouse Park because it was summertime and I'm an optimist. But I still had to be to work in the morning. That does not make sense. That's not an American dream. That's not a dream at all. That's a fucking nightmare. That's a nightmare. It is a freaking nightmare out here. And they are asking us to go out on faith, as James Baldwin said, to go out on faith for something that we've never seen. They want us to believe that they care about us. And it is a debate about whether or not we deserve $600, $600 a week. Hold on a second, honey. I'm doing a speech. Give me 1 second, okay? It is so important right now for us to understand that our community is who cares about us, not this government. We have to now take care of each other. The people in the community are telling you about these benefits. The people in the community are out here educating you about what's actually going on with the Postal Service. The people in the community are out here doing this for you. I'm not out here with PSL. PSL is out here for me because I'm a member of the community. You know what I mean? We are so far behind where we need to be as a community. And the government is trying to capitalize on that little catch-22 they put in our system. Because they push us. They push us and push us and push us so we don't have time for each other. But now they've created nothing but time for each other. Now we see each other. It took me 11 weeks to get my unemployment. I filed it day after day week after week. I filed it for 11 weeks. And my mom turned to me and she goes, "What is going on with your money? Where is it?" And I said, "That's not a question for me. That's a question for the government." And Jennifer Karen Johnson was like, well, then I'm calling the government. And she called the Attorney General. My mother called the Attorney General's office and she left 7 messages. 7. She's a Karen. She was not playing around. She was like, "Oh, think I'm okay. No, we don't wait. I'm gonna be on this phone because now I have nothing but time. You have given us nothing but time. And unfortunately, our time is money. Our time is money, you know? We are out here week after week, struggling already. We are out here week after week, trying to make do already. The company that I was working for was sending me clips of the higher ups in the company, the CEO and you know, all of those people in their freaking backyards, barbecuing with their freaking families, talking about how wonderful everything was. And I'm sitting at home with my partner who also worked for that company, not getting any unemployment at all. And me not making my median of $15 an hour as a manager, by the way. I have 15 years of management experience. And I was making a bare minimum of $15 an hour instead of the 17 or 18 that I asked for. But you know, I got like a bunch of things that's gonna make me hit that glass ceiling. You know, I got a bunch of stuff going on that's just gonna make me hit my head every time. And that is why I'm out here. Because I'm really tired of hitting my head. That's why I wrapped it up. I'm tired. Right here. Right there at the top. Like every time, just And it's like, why is that even there? Who put that there? People who don't care about you, people who don't care about me. That's who put that there. I don't know if anybody's heard Horton Hears a Who or read it. I'm pretty sure you all have. We are the Who's in this scenario. We are on that flower. And unless all of us make noise, unless we all get out here and say, this is wrong. If it's happening to one of us, it shouldn't happen to any of us. Unless we decide for ourselves that an injustice for anyone is an injustice for us, then we are going to be boiled alive, ladies and gentlemen. Boiled alive. So let's hit the streets, because there are streets. Whose streets? Whose street? Your street. Thank you, guys.
Thank you. At this point, we're going to bring up our last speaker now, who's been distinguished himself on our organizing calls as a great speaker. Give him some love, Jay Will.
Yeah, I'll just keep it nice and sweet and short. Thank everybody for coming out. So, before COVID-19, I was a proud man. I was a happy man. I was proud because through all the trials and tribulations I've endured in my life, I managed to take upon a career that I was truly proud of. I enjoyed getting up for work, I accept as well as appreciated all the challenges that came with my career. But after March 2020, that all changed. The optimism and I had at once turned into pessimism. The career goals which were once clear to me and within reach has now been indefinitely put on hold. And the hope I once had has been replaced with uncertainty and doubt. To put it simply, our government has failed us and broken the social contract with us. When we, the people, pay our taxes, at the very least, our government is supposed to protect us. Not only are they supposed to protect us from foreign invaders, but they're supposed to protect us and keep us safe during times of crisis. And the loss of our livelihoods due to this coronavirus is nothing short of a crisis. We, ladies and gentlemen, are victims of the same incompetence. This is failure of epic proportions. So now we are out here together with one united voice. We all are saying the same things to the people we put in office. Do your damn jobs and protect your fellow Americans. We are not asking for anything we don't deserve. We are not asking for anything our tax dollars do not pay for. We held up our end of the bargain. Now you need to hold up yours. Yep. Do your damn jobs and protect your fellow Americans. Thank you. You heard the man. You heard all our speakers today. And now we're going to make sure that they hear us and they see us. I got one question for you folks. Whose streets? Our streets. 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 All right, right behind this coffin, that's where we're going to march. Ready? Let's go.
I was just looking for you.
Are you cool, my dog?
Yeah, you're good.
that? Where you got it too? Oh, you're not up there. Philadelphia has the 1 quart road cross.